It's Monday, November 30th, 2020. I hope everybody had a really, really good weekend. Just wanted to check in with everybody today. Beautiful, beautiful late afternoon here in Palm Desert, California. It was about 80 degrees here today. Just stunning weather. But while the weather holds up and is beautiful, I just continue to watch what is happening in this economy. Dow Jones was down a little bit today, but not really too bad, especially when you take into account all the bad economic news. And it is absolutely just a thing of amazement when you watch the stock market and what it's doing compared to the U.S. economy, when we just take into account the massive job losses, all the commercial vacant real estate, all the permanent job closures, and really just the economy closing down again, and so many people becoming so desperate and so dependent on the government to step in and give them some money, give them food. And we're heading in a really bad direction here. But I read a really good article today. I wanted to share it with all of you. And it was in wolfstreet.com. And it really made some incredible points here. It's titled "The State of American Restaurants." And I'm going to go through it with you. And, we just look at so many of the industries, especially hospitality, leisure and hospitality, small, medium business, and the restaurant sector has just been quite literally obliterated. And it employs so many people in America. Yet we're being told how great everything is doing on the stock market. But where's the good news with the U.S. economy? At the end of October, compared to the same weekday, in the same week of last year, diners across the U.S. were down 40% from a year earlier. For the 7 days through November 28th, the number of seated diners was down 56%. Half of the 6 cities in the West and Hawaii have closed all sit-down dining in recent days. Los Angeles, in the last 3 days, is down 80% compared to the same time last month. San Diego's 7-day moving average of seated diners is down 27%. It was down 27% in October, now down 48% in November. Honolulu down 71%. San Francisco down 83% from a year ago. The restaurant business is just being killed. Denver indoor dining was shut down on November 18th. Outdoor dining is now open, but the temperatures now are getting down to around 25 degrees. And the dining situation is down 75% from a year ago. I mean, how many more restaurants is America going to lose? And how many more people that are employed by the restaurant industry, how many more people are going to lose their jobs? Las Vegas is under Nevada's new limitations that allow restaurants to be open at 25% capacity, indoors and outdoors, with no more than 4 people per table. The number of seated diners is down 32% from a year ago. My heart goes out to the people in Nevada, especially to the people in Las Vegas. That city is being decimated. But 4 people to a table. What if you only have 8 tables in your restaurant and you have to go down to 25% capacity? That's 2 tables maxed out at 4 apiece. That's 8 people. This is absolutely impossible. 100% unsustainable. Restaurants need to be operating at 100%, not at 25, not at 50, not at 75. They need to be operating at 100. The profit margin is so small. Dallas, Phoenix, Austin, seated diners are down 45 to 48% from a year ago. Houston is down 38%. Louisville switched to outdoor dining on November 20th. The number of seated diners collapsed 88% from a year ago. It is just nearly impossible now to make a living in the restaurant business. Tampa, seated diners down 19% from a year ago. Miami down 27%. Philadelphia, indoor dining ceased On November 20th, seated diners plunged 90% from a year ago. I mean, just think if your business dropped 90%, 50%, 30%. I mean, these are huge numbers. Boston seated diners down 66% from a year ago. I mean, if your clientele in your business, if you're in a business and your clientele dropped 66% from a year ago, more than likely you're out of business. Minneapolis banned on-site consumption indoors and outdoors on November 20th, and the number of seated diners collapsed by 100% to zero. Chicago has banned indoor dining. Seated diners is down 90%. I mean, again, people are not going to sit outside in the rain. They're not going to sit outside in a snowstorm or hailstorm or 10 below zero to have dinner. They're just not going to do it. Cincinnati, seated diners down 50%. So, you know, you look at the occupancy of people dining in or even dining out. It is just being depleted. And so what do these businesses do? They have to let people go. They have to let people go. They have to lay people off. The profit margins, they're probably barely, if they're lucky, paying their bills. How many of these restaurants are 6, 7, 8 months behind on rent or lease? That's my question. You know, when I drive by and I see a restaurant open now, you know, here people have to sit outside to eat. And luckily the weather's been holding up. So that's been a blessing for a lot of the restaurants here, but it's still hurting them. They don't have the room. They don't have, some of these places have very small patios. Some of them have to use sidewalks, and they just don't have the room to put enough people out there. But they're doing what they can to survive. But when I drive by and I see these places open, I just ask myself, how many months behind on rent is that restaurant or is that restaurant? How many people, how many chefs or cooks did they have to let go? How many waiters and waitresses did they have to let go? Probably, you know, half of their employees they had to let go. And now what do those employees do? And how are these establishments going to pay not just their rent and leases, but how will they pay their taxes? What is going to happen here? We are just in uncharted waters here, ladies and gentlemen, and it is really scary, I think, to be a business owner at this point in America, because you have no idea what's going to happen. We look at landlords not getting paid, and I know a lot of people hate landlords, but you know, if you don't have landlords in America, where are you going to live? I mean, they take the risk, they take the chance, they put up the capital in order for individuals to rent a property, and hopefully at some point you rent for a few years, you save up some money, then you buy a house, right? But if the landlord's not getting paid and the landlord can't pay the bank back, there's going to be big trouble. And somewhere down the road here, the rubber is going to meet the road, without a doubt. We cannot have an economy where landlords and banks are not getting paid. Somebody's going to lose here, and something's going to happen. But I do see in 2021 a lot of people being evicted. I see landlords, a lot of them putting their rental properties up on the market. We're going to see, I believe, a flood of inventory coming in 2021 as they begin to evict millions of people. And nobody's going to want to be in the rental business. The landlords, I think, are sick and tired of this. They're gonna place their properties on the market and get out of the business. And we're going to see a lot of properties in the housing market become available. And I think we're going to start seeing prices to come down. I think that if you're looking to buy a house, in my humble opinion, and it's just me, I'm not giving anybody any financial advice, but prices are so overinflated right now, and people ask, why is the inventory low? More than likely, I think one good reason is so many people now are in forbearance, and they're 4, 5, 6, 7 months behind on their mortgage, and they don't have the money to close the escrow because they owe so much money now in the forbearance. They've got to make up those lost payments. That could be a lot of money for some people. And if they don't have enough equity in that house, they can't get out. So I think that's one reason why we're seeing a shortage of inventory, because a lot of people just cannot get out. They cannot pay that forbearance off. And so we are going to see more foreclosures coming. We're going to see the landlords put properties on the market, and we're going to see a big correction, I believe, in the housing market. I believe we're going to see a housing collapse at some point in America. And look, it's inevitable. You can't have 40 million people out of work. You can't have this many people getting wage cuts. You can't have landlords not getting paid. You can't have 4 million homes in forbearance. What's going to happen to the multi-millions of people who are behind in rent payments? The credit's going to be destroyed. The people in forbearance, their credit's going to be destroyed. They're not coming back into these markets anytime soon. Millions and millions of renters are late, and their credit is being ruined. And the same thing is going to happen in the housing industry. And so people that used to have jobs, people that used to have good credit, no longer are going to have jobs. They're no longer going to have good credit. So who's going to buy these homes? And how are these people going to rent again when their credit's destroyed? I don't have the answers. I'm just watching what's going on here. And it is a complete mess. What a mess we have on our hands. And yet there are people out there that continue to believe that things are going to turn around, that this magic wand is going to appear in 2021. The government's going to send everybody money. Look, if they send you $1,200, is that really going to fix your life? And if you need $1,200 if that's going to change your life, you've got big trouble. You've got really, really big trouble if you're waiting on the government to hand you over money and bail you out. You're already in big trouble. And look, there's a lot of people in very, very big trouble. I don't know about all of you, but just going out, you can tell that people are on a razor's edge. You can tell they're uptight, they're angry, they're rude, they look very stressed out. And rightfully so. Look at what's going on. Most people are not in the stock market. Their pension might be in the stock market. Maybe they've got a 401k in the market, but most people are not investing in the stock market. But when this stock market does implode and it does crash, it's going to affect every one of us, whether we're in it or we're not in it. So continue to protect yourself the best that you can. But I see nothing but very, very bad news in the horizon here in regards to this economy. I read the comments as much as I can down below, and people are continuing to lose jobs. They're continuing to see their wages cut. They're continuing to see their dollar buying them less and less. And, if you've got some good news, if there's some light at the end of the tunnel with this economy, please share it with us. What is going to pull America out of this depression? And we're not even in the second inning of this thing yet. What is going to pull America out of this depression? I would love to know. It is really, really a scary time. And so many families out there just don't know what they're going to do. I was watching a couple videos the other day with families in Las Vegas, people waiting 4 months for a benefit, a check, an unemployment check, waiting 4 months, nothing. And they're behind on their mortgages. They're making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for their kids. The front lawns of their house, the grass is dead. The houses are starting to fall apart. They're worried about getting their cars repossessed. And it is a really, really scary time for so many people. And it's not just happening in California. It's not just happening in Las Vegas. We're seeing food lines and food shortages all across America. We're seeing people lose their jobs all across America. Look, it is happening everywhere. And to the people out there who have not been affected by this, God bless you, and I hope you're thanking God every night before you go to bed that you can feed yourself or your family and pay your bills, and the repo man isn't chasing you down, because that's happening to a lot of people. They're having a hard time feeding their kids. They're having to wait in food lines for 5 or 6 or 7 hours. they're trying to hold off the repossession of their cars, and now they're worried about the eviction crisis that is going to begin at the end of December. So really uncertain times, and I can't even imagine what 2021 is going to bring. We do know this: it's going to bring a lot of money printing. It's going to bring a lot more inflation. We're going to see more debt creation and more destruction of your purchasing power. So you really have to start really thinking about how you can protect yourself from all of this. And again, I don't give financial advice, but I would be very, very cautious of how and where I'm spending money. And I'd be very, very cautious about this stock market. And I know people are doing incredible. I hope that they're protecting their wealth. I hope that they're pulling out some of those profits and buying assets, because some of these people, many of these people, are going to be a second too late, and they're going to get wiped out. You know, there are more paper millionaires now, more paper millionaires than ever, and people in their 401ks who look at that piece of paper and they feel so good, but they don't have that money in their hands, and we have no idea what can happen tomorrow or next week or next month or what's going to happen in 2021. But as long as we keep printing all this money, as long as the stock market is 100% dependent on the Federal Reserve to continue artificial injections and 0% interest rates, I can promise you this: the inevitable is coming. It will not be stopped. Notice nobody ever talks about paying down the debt. Notice that the Fed cannot raise interest rates. You notice that the Fed cannot stop stepping in and pumping all these injections into the stock market, because it cannot stop. Because if it does, the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. And if you think that the Fed can just print forever to hold everything up and that we're just going to live in this illusion, this dream world, you know, if you're making money right now in the stock market, enjoy it, because the day of reckoning, no doubt, is coming. We have never seen bubbles like this in history. There are bubbles everywhere. And I can promise you that all bubbles, now and before, all pop. These are going to be incredible. We've never had so many bubbles, and we've never seen so many bubbles globally. And now every country in the world is printing their currency to the moon. So it is a race to the bottom. I'm going to leave it here today. Look, if you're buying Bitcoin or cryptos, God bless you. You're doing incredibly well. I'm going against the grain. I'm doing what most people are not doing. I'm buying the things that are on sale. I'm buying the things that maybe nobody wants. I'm buying mining stocks, and I'm buying physical gold. That's what I'm doing, and I'm putting some cash away. So, you know, I can't tell anybody what to do, but I think that whether you're buying Bitcoin or cryptos or mining stocks or precious metals, anything that you can do to detach from the system, to start getting out of the dollar, I believe that's the thing that we have to do. We've got to detach from the system. The system is melting down. No matter what the stock market does, it's all smoke and mirrors. But we do know that at some point the system is going to crash, and if you're in the system, you're going to be obliterated. Period. So as I leave you today, the best advice I could give anybody, and again, I don't give financial advice, I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing, is to detach from the system the best that you can. Get out of the dollar, even though you got to have some dollars put away, without a doubt. But I think that the more that you're out of the dollar, the more that you're out of the system, the better off you're going to be. That may be Bitcoin. That might be other cryptos, precious metals, mining stocks. So look, I'm going against the grain. I'm not doing what the masses are doing. I'm not jumping into the stock market, buying into the bubble, buying these overvalued stocks. I'm buying what is on sale. To me, that's precious metals. That's mining stocks. It could be cryptos. But it is definitely not overvalued stocks. So that's me. Share, please comment down below and share with us what you're doing with your money. Where are you putting it? Are you in the stock market? I know people have written me, they've done very, very well, and God bless you if you have. And I'm not telling anybody not to invest in the stock market. I do believe in diversification, and I do believe that you need to be getting out of the system, because if you're just in the stock market, what happens when it crashes? It's not a matter of if, it is now a matter of when. But when that happens, what are you going to do? You got to have a backup plan, in my opinion. So if you get a chance, please comment down below, share with us what you're doing. It's probably not opening up a new restaurant. It's probably not opening up a new business. Maybe it is. You know, if you're in the stock market, if you're buying cryptos, if you're buying precious metals, if you're buying land, if you're buying mining stocks, let us know what you're doing. I'd love to know. We'd all love to know what you're doing. And there's just so many people with knowledge down in those comments. So it is really a mind-opening experience to read how people are preparing, what they're investing in, etc. So please share with us, and continue to let us know what's happening in your areas. What's employment look like? Are you seeing more vacant buildings? What's the housing market doing? Keep us informed what's happening in your area. So I'm going to leave it there. Have a phenomenal evening. God bless every one of you. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you share this video and make sure you subscribe. Talk to all of you very, very soon.